Greetings, friends. Jennifer Nicole Campbell here, and today I want to share with you a short clip from one of my live music musings that I give each month for my online community, my Patreons. I want to thank them so much. Thank you all for your support, especially over the past 7 to 8 months. Losing most of my live concert, it has been a little bit of a struggle, but I'm grateful to have that financial support and emotional support too from all of you. It's great to be able to chat with you throughout the YouTube lives that I do, throughout the Zoom Q&As that we have. So if you haven't checked it out, I hope you will. Patreon.com/JNCmusic. And this little clip is just a taste of what you might get from my Patreon. If you sign up, you'll be able to access all the Patreons that I've done over the past 8 months. You'll have access to those recordings, and you'll get access to my sheet music for some of my compositions. A lot of other benefits. I hope you'll check it out. In the meantime, enjoy this clip from Pure Imagination. So, this piece, I just love the beginning. Of course, Pure Imaginations from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. And it got Best Original Song, Academy Award. I believe it was in 1971. Of course, the notorious and wonderful Gene Wilder sings this. I have not seen the new version of Willy Wonka. One part of me, I guess, wants to just forever treasure just that old Gene Wilder version of it because he's just fantastic. And I love the way that this begins. I think it's really unique. It's again we're talking a lot about octaves today, and then he doesn't just do. He goes underneath the octave toward the leading tone. I think composers really know how to use half steps. We've talked about Jaws. That's half steps. It's very unsettling. You're not quite sure where it's going. So it really brings across this sense of mystery, and we don't really know what's going on. Of course, in the movie, this is the scene where they walk into, the big, Candyland room after going through all these puzzles and things like that. And, here they are, and they're, wow, what is this place? And they're walking kind of quietly along, and it's just, I believe it's played by Glockenspiel. And as that's happening, Mr. Willy Wonka's just saying out loud, hold your breath, make a wish, count to 3. And then there's our melody. Now, one of the things I think is really brilliant about the way that it begins, people don't think much about the words when Willy Wonka's just saying them, hold your breath, make a wish, count to 3. But think about it, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, da, da, da. So that kind of iteration of 3 is already in our kind of subconscious, if you will. And then what's the melody? Groups of 3. So it kind of rolls right into our melody. Okay, and what does he say? Come with me and you'll be in a world of pure imagination. And so I think that's a really interesting thing that I noticed as I was going through it and just kind of analyzing. Well, why does it feel so comfortable all of a sudden after these really unsettling octave plus intervals there? And of course the harmony, very luscious, very beautiful. We have some sevenths, some ninths, very delicious, kind of more jazz-oriented harmony. So he reiterates that, and then he goes up a seventh, right? And he goes, in a world of pure imagination. So imagination, right? The interval goes up, which makes sense. The imagination makes us think more there. In a world of pure imagination, take a look and you'll see into your imagination. And then this stuff comes back, which I think is really, again, it's a little, okay, what's going on here? And then we'll begin with a spin, okay, and let's see how he text paints that. We'll begin with a spin, traveling in the moonlight ocean. What we'll see will defy explanation. He's doing something a little different with the rhythm, right? We'll begin with a spin. I really like that. It's a small little detail, but those details really count. We'll begin with a spin. So he's outlining the same melodic material we had before, traveling in the world of my creation, and what we'll see will defy explanation. And again, let's look at the text painting for explanation. What you see will defy explanation, right? And so it just sounds clever. I think one of the reasons is that it's a dotted rhythm, boom, da-dum, and that octave almost seems so gratuitous. Explanation. And now we're in a very solidly clear F sharp major key. We don't have any sevenths or ninths or things like that. So, it defies explanation, and explanation seems pretty straightforward in terms of the harmonic stuff going on there. Explanation. And then we have this come back, but it's a little different. So instead of just, for one thing, the left hand's doing a little back and forth, and then the right hand goes down a half step, and the rhythmical interest ensues there with that. And here's the refrain. If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it. Anything you want to do it. Want to change the world, there's nothing to it. I think that is just a brilliant moment. You want to change the world, there's nothing to it. And that's Willy Wonka, right? Creating his own kind of majestic, magical space. And so I think that's a part of it. There's nothing to it. You create your own reality there. That's kind of his Willy Wonka's thing, right? So if you want to view paradise, and listen to how he text paints paradise. If you want to view paradise instead of paradise, which might make a little more sense, dee-da-dum, it's coming down to you. So there's that sense of that paradise is coming down to you, through all the candy and gumdrops and things. If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it. Anything you want. And of course, this is nice, pleasant seconds there. It's not too complicated in terms of the intervallic relationships there. Anything you want to do it. Want to change the world. And he pauses there. You want to change the world. You might think, how do I change the world? And his response is these little steps. There's nothing to it. The half steps and the whole steps. Pretty interesting. And the chord is just parked on E. Want to change the world. There's nothing to it. And we go to A there. Okay, and you think it might end shortly there. He goes back to a verse. There's no life I know to compare with pure imagination. Living there, you'll be free if you truly wish to be. Okay, so there is no life I know to compare with pure imagination. Living there, you'll be free if you truly wish to be. Okay, so the key there is, living there, you'll be free if you truly wish to be, right? So the text is very clever. And so he's emphasizing the importance of imagination, right? When people used to read books and they didn't have the movies to rely on everything being, broadcast, you see video, there's audio, everything's, the senses are overloaded in a sense compared to if you're reading a book, you have to use your imagination. And in a sense, the story can become more powerful, more impactful because you're controlling that part of your imagination. So after that, he's going to reiterate, if you want to view paradise, I'll skip that part. And then he'll go back to there's no life I know. There is no life I know to compare with pure imagination. Living there, you'll be free if you truly wish to be. Now, it's different than the first time we heard that with the rhythm. It's called augmentation when you take shorter note values and you make them longer even though they're the same notes. So we have, if you truly wish to be, as opposed to truly wish to be, right? He's going truly wish So it's kind of a way of cherishing those intervals in a different way when they're augmented like that. So that pure imagination, I think it's a pleasant, lovely tune, and it's full of mystery with those half steps, how it begins. I think that's one of the things that we really gravitate towards, and it's not just all out in the open. If there's some kind of mystery there, and some kind of thing that we don't quite know. Sometimes questions are more interesting than answers. So, pure imagination. That's from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.